To order this regular meeting of the Lincoln-Lancaster County Planning Commission of October 28th, 2020. A printed agenda is available outside the hearing room, and a copy of the full agenda, including the staff reports, is available at the front of the chambers with the clerk. The Open Meetings Act is posted just inside the doors at the back of the room. In order to meet the required social distancing protocols, we must limit the number of people inside the chambers. Staff is assisting individuals who are present and wish to testify on items on today's agenda by ensuring that each person has signed in. We are requiring attendees in the chambers to sit in a socially distanced manner 6 feet apart from other people not in your immediate group. Once you have testified, you should exit the chambers using the doors to the right of the desk, and then the next testifier can come to the microphone and begin testifying. In addition, for the added protection of all those involved, the Planning Commission will be allowing testimony on agenda items by video conference for individuals who pre-registered with the Planning Department prior to today's hearing. This testimony will be taken following the completion of the live testimony for each item based on position. If you parked in the parking garage across the street to the north, the gate is open and no parking coupons are needed. Out of courtesy for those attending this meeting, commissioners, and the staff, cellular phone usage is not permitted in these chambers during any time of the meeting. We appreciate your cooperation. Please note the Planning Commission action today is final on the following agenda items. 1.4B, Preliminary Plat 20004, and 1.5, Special Permit 961A. Any aggrieved person may appeal final action of the Planning Commission to the City Council or the County Board by filing a notice of appeal with the clerk within 14 days following the action of the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission action on all other items is a recommendation to City Council or County Board. The first item of business is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held October 14th, 2020.
Move to approve.
Second, Finnegan.
Jerry?
Okay, Campbell.
Yes.
Edgerton.
Yes.
Finnegan.
Yes.
Joy.
Yes.
Shear.
Yes.
Beckius.
Yes.
Core.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
The next item of business is the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda will be called at the same time and will not be scheduled for a separate public hearing unless there is a request from someone wishing to speak or at the request of a commission member. I will ask Jerry to read all of the consent agenda items into the record. Once those items are read, she will ask if there is anyone wishing to speak. If you wish to speak on an item on the consent agenda, we would ask that you stand and state that item. That item will then be removed from the consent agenda and scheduled as a separate public hearing under Section 3 of today's agenda. All items remaining on the consent agenda will be voted upon in total with a motion for approval. Jerry, will you please call the items on the consent agenda?
Yes, before I do that, I'd just like to announce that items 1.4A, which is change of zone 20029, and the associated item 1.4B, preliminary plat 20004, will be removed from the consent agenda for separate action. Item 1.1 is comprehensive plan conformance 20014 to review as to conformance with the 2040 Lincoln-Lancaster County Comprehensive Plan, a proposed amendment to the Lincoln Center redevelopment plan to add the terminal building redevelopment project on property generally located at 947 O Street and 139 South 10th Street. Item 1.2 is comprehensive plan conformance 20015 to review as to conformance with the 2040 Lincoln-Lancaster County Comprehensive Plan, a proposed amendment to the Lincoln Center redevelopment plan to add the 1040 O Street redevelopment project, including renovation and rehabilitation of a 6-story building on property generally located at 1040 O Street. Item 1.3 is change the zone 08057B to allow revisions to the development plan which propose modifications to the zoning ordinance regulations for motorized vehicle sales on property generally located at 2928 North 48th Street. And I would indicate that the staff memo was provided to the Planning Commission this morning relating to a minor revision submitted by the staff, and as I understand it, the applicant is in agreement with that revision. Item 1.5 is special permit 961A to allow for the expansion of a non-conforming use for the sale of alcohol for consumption on the premises on property generally located at 3340 West A Street. This is final action on this special permit unless appealed to the City Council within 14 days. Are there any ex parte communications to be disclosed on these items?
I don't see any.
Are there any ex parte communications that took place or additional information you learned while visiting the site, any of these sites?
I think we're good there too.
Okay, is there anyone here wishing to speak on any item on the consent agenda? If so, please stand and state that item.
Okay, I think we're good there. I'd entertain a motion.
Do you want a motion to put on pending the two first or the consent first?
Just the consent.
Okay, I would move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Edgerton.
Jerry?
Edgerton?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this is for the approval of the consent agenda items. Campbell?
Yes.
Edgerton?
Yes.
Finnegan?
Yes.
Joy?
Yes.
Shear?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Core?
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
I will now ask Jerry to call any requests for deferral received prior to the meeting.
Okay, we have received a written request on behalf of the applicant to place the following agenda items on pending until further notice. Change of zone 20019 from R3 residential district to H3 highway, highway commercial district.
2-9, not 1-9.
Oh, I'm sorry. Change of zone 20029 from R3 residential district to H3 highway commercial district, and the associated preliminary plat 20004 for a new preliminary plat consisting of 2 lots. Both of these applications are located on property, generally located on property at located west of North 33rd Street and Schwar Drive.
So moved.
Second, Joy.
Jerry?
Okay, this would be to place these 2 items on pending until further notice. Campbell?
Yes.
Edgerton?
Yes.
Finnegan?
Yes.
Joy?
Yes.
Shear?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Core?
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
Is there anyone here wishing to speak on those 2 applications today? Okay. We'll now proceed to public hearing. The staff will make a brief presentation. The applicant will then be requested to present his or her testimony, followed by those who wish to testify in support, and then those who wish to testify in opposition. Let's see here. If during your testimony you have copies of documents or materials you would like distributed to the Planning Commission members and or included as part of the record, please provide that information to the clerk for distribution. Each person testifying should state their name and address and shall have 5 minutes to speak unless additional time is requested and granted. The timer will go off after 4 minutes, then you will have 1 minute to wrap up your testimony. The Planning Commission will vote immediately at the close of the public hearing unless the Commission votes to defer action or continue the public hearing. Jerry, will you call the first public hearing item?
Yes, thank you. Item 4.1 is miscellaneous 20002 to amend the long-range transportation plan to expand the scope of the Fletcher Avenue project currently shown as 84th to 98th Street by extending the project limits from the current east terminus of 98th Street east to 148th Street. Staff recommendation is for approval. Are there any ex parte communications to be disclosed? Are there any ex parte communications that took place or additional information you learned while visiting the site?
Okay. Alan?
Good afternoon. Alan Zaff, Transportation Planner with the Planning Department, and I'll just do a brief overview presentation. The Lancaster County Engineers Office, in coordination with the County Planning Department, is requesting an amendment to the Lincoln MPO's Long Range Transportation Plan, also known as the 2040 Long Range Transportation Plan - 2016 update. This amendment would modify the project limits of Fletcher Avenue from North 84th Street to 98th Street to North 84th Street to 148th Street. What's triggering this amendment is the state or Nebraska Department of Transportation has criteria in regards to what rises to a project, any project changes that rise to an amendment. The criteria that was triggered was since the project limits are greater than the changes of the project limits are greater than quarter mile. That's what's triggering this amendment. Changing the project limits from 84th Street to 90th Street to 84th Street to 140th Street is from 2 miles to about 4.42 miles. That's what's triggering this amendment. Staff recommendation is to approve this amendment. This amendment proposes extend the project limits of an existing rural road project, and also the estimated average daily traffic volumes in 2025 and 2040 of the modified project limits for Fletcher Avenue exceed the daily traffic levels when a gravel road qualifies for paving. And I do want to note that this amendment to the RTP went to technical committee on October 16th, and it was reviewed and recommended for adoption, and it's going to the officials committee November 16th. Yeah, and I do mention in the staff report that officials committee will be beginning their meeting at 11 a.m. We just changed the date of the time of that meeting to 10:45 a.m. And also, I just want to note too, with this LRTP amendment, also it would make a change to the comp plan since the LRTP is embedded in the comprehensive plan. It's chapter 10 of the comp plan. We would also make changes to the project limits in the comp plan too. That's my overview.
Any questions for Alan? Okay. Since you're kind of the applicant as well, we don't really have an applicant to call up, but is there any testimony in support?
Sorry. Paul Vidmar, roadway design engineer for the Lancaster County Engineering Department. Do I gotta get my address and all that other good stuff? 444 Cherry Creek Road, Lincoln, Nebraska. So I'm here representing Pam Dingman and Larry Legg in full support of this amendment. Obviously, we've been doing some studies on this, and it's going to bring some great safety improvements for getting some truck traffic out of Waverly and onto this road. And then obviously paving this section is going to make that section a heck of a lot safer for everybody involved. So.
Great. It's nice to know that the engineering department supports it.
Absolutely.
Okay, any questions for Paul? Okay, thank you.
Going easy on me. Thanks.
Paul, for the record, could I get your last name?
Vidmar, V as in Victor, I, D as in Delta, M as in Mike, AR.
Thank you.
Any other testimony in support? Okay, testimony in opposition. Okay. Anything you'd like to add? No? Okay.
I move to close the public hearing.
Second, Finnegan.
And
Gary?
who, was that Edgerton?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And Finnegan, okay. Campbell,
Yes.
Edgerton,
Yes.
Finnegan,
Yes.
Joy,
Yes.
Shear,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Core.
Yes.
Motion carried, 7-0.
I would move approval of miscellaneous 20002.
Second, Joy.
Discussion.
This, I think, is a good improvement for all of the traffic that they've reported, and it's nice to see everybody on board with it.
Yeah. I think this is a good change, a good thing to add to the plan, and it's a good thing to support.
Well, and it's an excellent thing to get that traffic off, away from the schools.
Jerry?
Okay, this is for the recommended approval of miscellaneous 20002. Campbell,
Yes.
Edgerton,
Yes.
Finnegan,
Yes.
Joy,
Yes.
Shear,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Core.
Yes.
Motion carried, 7-0.
For anyone wishing to speak on an item not on the agenda, this is the time. Okay. I would entertain a motion.
Move to adjourn, Edgerton.
Second, Campbell.
Jerry?
Okay, Campbell,
Yes.
Edgerton,
Yes.
Finnegan,
Yes.
Joy,
Yes.
Shear,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Core.
Yes.
Motion carried, 7-0.
And we are adjourned. Thank you.